press yung ano, go live. Sorry. Sorry naman mo. Ayan. Sorry na. Okay. Okay na tayo. Okay na tayo. Sorry naman. Sorry. Ako po yung may kasalanan. Okay. Alright. So, today's lecture, this time the lecture is medical technology laws. Let's remove bioethics from that one, but I'm still using the same slideshow because there hasn't been any change to my knowledge about the latest trends and news about our law as medical technologists. Okay? So, who here can lead the medical technologist prayer? Diba? Nagtanong na naman ako ng ano. Bakit laging ganyan, sir, ang discussion? Laging nasa may ano. Okay. Who here can... Si Sheila si Sheila parang kumakaway-kaway. Sige, Sheila bumanglag. Sheila, kumakaway-kaway ka. Sige, malay mo, bigyan kayo ni Sir Marco ng ano, ng unmute yourself, Sheila. Malay nyo magbigay si Sir Marco ng plus, di ba? Ay, no, biglang nawala, naloka ako. Ay, ayan. Ayan, ayan na, bigay ko na sa iyo yung medical technologist prayer. Please lead the prayer. Ganyan talaga. Last year ganyan din, di ba? May reason kung bakit. Don't worry. I'm not doing anything just for fun. Hindi ko kayo ini-etchos lang. Uy, chill ka lang. Ganun, sign of the cross, te. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Diba? Nakikinig ang ating guardian angel na si Marco Flores. Baka biglang magdagdag yan ng points sa'yo. Tandaan mo yan, Sheila, ha? Okay? So, hindi ako nangi-etchos class. Sa board exam, tinatanong yan. Okay? Tinatanong yan sa board exam. And I think nung gumawa ako ng exam last year, Patrick, nandun din yan. And that was the same question that I got when I took the board exam. Okay? That was the same question that I got when I took the board exam. So, ano yung tinatanong nila, sir? Usually, the first and the last stanzas yung mga tinatanong niya. Tatanungin nila usually is through the eternal blank. Lalagay nila doon eternal healer, eternal medicine man, eternal voodoo master, mga ganun yung mga i-etchosin nila yan. Okay? What else do they change here? By the vocation, scientific responsibilities of the task. By the divine wisdom and growing blank. Lagi yan. Yung mga ganyan, yung mga high-level vocabulary yung ini-etchos nila. Okay? Okay? So, yan. Hindi ako nangi-etchos. Talagang tinatanong siya. So, siguro, starting from now, pwede ba nating gawing agreement? Every time na magre-review kayo ng pang medtech, try nating magdasal ng ganyan. No? By repetition, mapapractice natin, ay, ito yun. Meron na akong 2 points. Diba? Meron na akong 2 points sa may exam ni Sir Manuel at saka sa board exam. Diba? So, hindi tayo nang i-etchos niyan. Tinatanong talaga yan, class. Okay? So, what is RA 5527? This is also known as an act requiring the registration of medical technologists, defining their practice, and for other purposes. This is the Philippine Medical Technology, also known as the Philippine Medical Technology Act of 1969. Okay? So just for your information, back then class, a little bit of history tayo, class. A little bit around 1969, the Americans brought the practice of medical technology, the actual practice of medical technology in the Philippines. Back then, years before that, or a decade before that, people only relied on physical examinations. Doctors relied on physical examinations and never really thought of using laboratory tests in our country as a way of diagnosing diseases. When the World War started, I think it was World War II. I'm not very good with with world history, but I think in this time, panahon ni Hitler ata yan. That was the time when the Americans made bases here in the Philippines, and the Americans who had already established the practice in the Philippines brought certain laboratory tests to our knowledge and allowed scientists to practice medical technology. That is the reason why the original name of the act is an act requiring the registration of medical technologists, defining their practice and for other purposes. Okay? So that's the reason why. Okay? It was in 1969. Does anybody know who's the president back then at that time? Come on, class. You know this. Carlos, you forgot our house rules. Okay, Andrea. All right, Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Don't forget, Sr. Remember, the kid is already the president there in the Philippines. Okay, so don't forget, Sr. You might be mistaken. Okay, okay. Next. Okay, so this was my question for 2023. For my 2023 class, there was an update. Which member of the current Senate has begun the process to amend RA 5527? Senator Bongo. Okay? Would you believe it? Akalain nyo yun, si Bongo pa, no? Hindi ko ini-expect. Mas ini-expect ko pa si si Char. Hindi na ako magsasalita. Okay? Meron akong student na nagsabi, hindi ko alam kung nandito sa batch ninyo yun, na one of the reasons kung bakit bakit napilitan siyang i-amend ang RA 5527 is kasi sabi niya outdated na daw. Parang nabanggit lang daw ng anak niya. Kasi medtech ang anak niya. Okay? From I think I don't know kung saang school, but I think it's somewhere dyan sa norte. Hindi siya taga Manila eh. And anyways, enough about that. That's just chika minute. Let's go with what is actually going to be asked in the board exams. Okay? Alright. So, apart from RA 5527, you have to remember RA 6138. And RA 6138 is what? RA 6138 is what? Who knows the answers to 6138? Mahaba yan, class. Okay, so it's an act to amend certain sections of Republic Act 5527, known also as the Philippine Medical Technology Act of 1969. So it's an act that amends certain sections. Make sure you don't forget underlining certain sections of Republic Act 5527. Okay? Now, there were 3 sections that were amended by RA 5537, RA 6138, sorry, from RA 5527. And of course, we need to know what date it is also. Okay? So the date that it was promulgated, RA 5527, was August 31, 1970. Okay? And sections that included this is 16, 21, and 22. I don't know how you guys can remember this. However, all I know is that it was promulgated a year after. Okay, a year after RA 5527 was officially promulgated. Okay, so a year after that one. When was RA 5527 originally promulgated? For those people who don't know yet. Sige nga. Ang dami namang tanong, sir. Bakit kailangan ganon? Come on, when was that? Of all the dates that I want you guys to remember, that is the one that is most important. Raise your hand if you know. Kim Angelica Abong. Kim Angelica Abong. You raised your hand. Ay, aksidente lang siguro. Okay, sige, si Carlos Aquino na lang. I don't hear anybody. Carlos, are you there? Ayan. Okay, so when was RA 5527 originally promulgated? Okay, 6/21/1969. So always remember that date. That is the most important date of all the dates that you need to remember. I am 95% sure it will be asked in your board exams. 6/21/1969. Do not forget that date. Okay? Hindi ko siya makakalimutan, of course, for certain reasons. Right, Patrick? Puro kakalokohan, ngumingisi ka. For certain reasons. Okay? Hindi ko siya makakalimutan. And I'm not gonna say that because we are recorded in YouTube. And girl, I am a Christian woman. I am not gonna say that. Okay? Next. Okay? So 16, 21, and 22 are the amended sections. Okay? And let's move on to another amendments. Sir, ang dami namang amendments. Nakakaloka. Ang dami namang amendments. Okay? Marami talaga kasi matagal na panahon na yan na promulgate. Okay? So, before we continue, what sections were amended by RA 498. There's a lot actually. Okay? There's a lot. So it's 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 17, 29. Okay? Let me see if I'm correct. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 16, 17, 21, 29. Okay? And it was promulgated 6/28/74. So 5 years after the promulgation of RA 5527, which is 6/21/1969. Okay? When I'm reviewing, I'm always going like that, which was several years, so that I have like I establish neural connections to what I'm remembering. And I know I'm trying to teach you how to memorize things, but our test 5 of your board exams requires majority of the time memory work. So we can't go by this. Okay? And I try to make it a little bit interesting for you guys, to give you like little hints of, or little pieces of history, bits and pieces of history. Okay? So there's another one, PD 1534. PD 1534 is another one. This is presidential decree, by the way. Okay? Presidential decree 1534 was promulgated 6/11/78, and it amended only 3 sections. It is 3813. All right? Still remember. Very good. I still remember. And that's basically the list of what we're going to see about the amendments. Do not forget PD 1534, PD 498, and of course RA 638. These are amendments of RA 5527. Okay? And what we're going to discuss is these things. Okay, so there's 32 of them. That's the reason why I asked the 32 sections of RA 5527. So we're gonna go at them one by one. We're not very much focused on just going at it one by one. So it's definition of terms, Council of Medical Technology, skip to that one. You go to Board of Medical Technology. What are their qualifications? What do they do? What are their functions? How are they removed? Accreditation of what? What do they? So we're gonna go one by one on these things so that you guys can remember. Okay? But what I want you guys to keep in mind is there's a pattern to this. Okay? So take for example section 3. Section 3 is related to how many? How many things? Section 3 is related to 3, 4, and what they did, what's their function. Okay, so if you don't know the function of the COMT, rest assured you won't remember what is 6, 7, okay, and 8. Okay, so yeah. So all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, they are all related. Okay, they're all related to one another. Okay, so there's a pattern to this one. Okay, now scope, oath taking, those are the things that are basically others. I consider this others, but let's go one by one. Okay, but before that, of course, there's another Senate bill. This was a not recent one. Before Bongo's proposal, this was 2722 SB SB 2722, which was authored by Senator Edgardo Angara on February 28, 2011. And the name of the bill is really long, if I'm not mistaken. It is an act regulating the modernizing the practice of medical technology, open and close parenthesis, medical laboratory science in the Philippines, repealing for this proposal Republic Act number 5527, 6162, and Presidential Decree numbers 498, 1534, and for other purposes. It's a very long Senate bill. Basically, what it did is that it had it separated the board exams so all the gist of it is that what it did is that it made a separate board exam for phlebotomists, okay, and board exams will be moved from March and October to May and November, okay, so both, okay, so that's what basically happened. So obviously this hasn't been approved, and I think it won't be approved because up till now there's no job openings for phlebotomists, okay, for licensed phlebotomists. Okay, so one of the why is it considered modernizing the practice of medical technology? Because as of the moment, you guys are now after you graduate, you passed your board exams, you would be registered medical technologists, which is in modern times somebody who has an advanced degree or an advanced science degree. Okay, and phlebotomy jobs are mostly skill based or technical based. Okay, so if you look at it from the perspective of from the global perspective, there are job openings around the world, not just in the United States, but also in Canada, Australia, and in Europe, that offers jobs for phlebotomists. Okay, because this is a technical job. Okay, medical technology is an advanced science degree to some people. That's the reason why this act was promulgated by Senator Angara, because everything that the law the proponents of the law rather had was very much outdated. Okay, so those are the things that right now you still learned. I'm not sure if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick. But right now, during your college days you guys have a topic, a separate topic, if I'm not mistaken, clinical chemistry laboratory or hematology laboratory, where you had to learn about phlebotomy, right? Okay, so the curriculum here, just for your information class, you will not take classes in phlebotomy here in the United States if you studied under the MLS program here. Which is basically equivalent to BSMT, okay, in the Philippines, or BSMLS in the Philippines. They don't take classes in phlebotomy. They've changed all of their classes. They've modernized their classes, so to speak, into a lot of topics like genetics. They have genetics lab, molecular biology lab, and any other courses that we don't have there in the Philippines. Okay? So, yan yun. Right? Haba ng discussion. Dami mong chika, sir. Section 2 na nga tayo. Okay. So, let's go to Section 2. Section 2 is basically definition of terms. It defined several terms. Okay? But one of these is the duties and responsibilities of a medical technologist. Okay, so there are four things that you need to remember as a medical technologist. You examine excretions, secretions, and tissues, do blood banking procedures and techniques, microbiology and parasitology, microbiology and parasitology techniques, and histopathology and cytotechniques. Okay, you will notice that when you review for your ASCP exams, and which I know most of you will, because of course the practice of medical technology there in the Philippines is not very high paying, right? Some people would like to pursue greener pastures outside, and one of them is ASCP. Histopathology and cytotechniques is not included. Okay, so that is a different job description for other people for other countries like the United States. But for us, up till now, histopathology and cytopathology is part of the curriculum. Okay, right, now let's move on. What are the duties and responsibilities of medical technologists under Section 2 of RA 5527 that are not exclusive but can be performed by the professional or by a medical technologist? So they are not exclusive to a medical technologist, but can be performed but can be performed by a medical technologist. So basically, other people can do it, right? Or other professions can do it, not just for medtechs, like I don't know, BS Chem, BS Bio, registered chemists, chemical engineers can also do this. This includes clinical research, obviously, right? Clinical laboratory quality control. That was what my aunt did in the 70s, okay, before she migrated to the United States. Preparation of reagents and standards, okay, and preservation and collection of specimens, okay. So my aunt was a chemical engineer. She was not a medical technologist, but she was able to perform duties that included these things, okay. So it's not all solely for medtechs, but we can do it as medtechs, or you guys can do it when you graduate and pass your board exams, okay. So it's not the end of the world if you did not pass your board exams. You can still do these things, okay. All right, provided that you find an employer, of course. That was the caveat of this discussion, by the way, when I discussed this in 2016. Sir, what if wala akong mahanap na employer na mag-employ sa akin to do clinical research? Then you have to use the skill, your charisma. Okay, that's the only thing that I was able to answer to my student. I know I'm sad. I'm mean, but anyway, let's continue. COMT stands for anybody? What does COMT stands for? Anybody who here knows the answer? Let's go with Arian Dorothy, yung mga previous students ko dati. Arian Dorothy. Very good. Council of Medical Technology, which is composed of a lot of people. Okay? Starts with the chair, goes down to representatives of deans and schools. So let's go from the highest tier. Okay, so the Council of Medical Technology is composed of the following people: the chair, which is the director of higher education; vice chair, which is the PRC commissioner; director of BRL, Bureau of Research Laboratories, by the way; BOMT, the Board of Medical Technology; president of PSP. PSP stands for Philippine Society of Pathologists. Those are the people who facilitate the exams for pathology residents to become pathology fellows or to become licensed pathologists, okay, in the Philippines. So after med school, you undergo residency. Depends on the residency program. Some programs only focus on clinical laboratory. Some residency programs is anatomic pathology, clinical pathology rather, and then anatomic pathology. Some pathology residencies include the combination of both, plus the addition of cytopathology. Okay, so it depends. So it could be a 4 or 5 year residency program for for duly registered physicians. So it's not us who they who they who they work with, but more so our bosses in the future if we pursue a career in medical technology. Okay, PAMET also, the Philippine, ano ibig sabihin ng PAMET? Philippine Medical Technology Association pa. Philippine Association of Medical Technologists. Okay? Nakalimutan ko na, hindi kasi ako member class. I'm sorry. PASMET ang alam ko kasi lagi kaming dinadala ng dean namin dati sa mga quiz show. Okay? So, yan. Alright. So, what specific amendment of RA 5527 clearly specify the Council of Medical Technology? It is PD 1534. Okay? So, it was repealed. Okay? Before, it was repealed by PD 1534. Okay? Now, Section 4 is the compensation. So, every meeting, the chairman and its members get the following. Okay? It's not very, very lucrative, right? It's only 50 pesos. It's only 50 pesos per meeting. Okay? So you get compensated according to the law by 50 pesos. That it comes from the hard-earned tax of people in the Philippines, of every Filipino citizen. Okay? Alright? So that is mandated by law. You get 50 pesos per meeting if you're the chairman. You get 25 pesos if you are a member. Any of the other ones like the vice chair, okay, director of BRL, BOMT, president of PSP, president of PAMET, and then representatives of the deans and schools of medical technologists, okay, and public health. Anyways, let's move on to the functions of COMT. Who here can give me a brief? I don't want you guys to focus on what is written. Okay, what I want you guys to focus on is because it is memory work. I want you guys to make neural connections as to what are the functions of COMT. So you know what to expect in the subsequent sections in relation to the Council of Medical Technology. So the functions of COMT is basically for the education of future medical technologists such as yourselves. Therefore, one of their functions is to recommend a minimum required curriculum, okay? Determine the number of medical technology students, approve medical technology schools by accrediting them, and recommend or formulate a refresher course for those who failed the exam 3 times. Okay? Question for everybody. It might be asked in your board exam. Which school in the Philippines or in Manila offers refresher courses for those who failed the board exam 3 times? Anybody? Which school in Manila offers a refresher course? I'm not talking about Visayas in Mindanao because I'm assuming because the school is located in Quezon City. I'm assuming you all are going to take the board exams in the Philippines, and you are all located in Manila. I'm not sure if some of you are in Visayas or in Mindanao, but I am asking you guys, Manila. Kim Kylie. I'm sorry, can you speak louder? I only heard ngar. Oh, okay. Hindi ko kasi ini-expect ko kasi yung transcription ng CEU. Centro Escolar. Yes, very good. CEU Mendiola. Okay? Meron CEU Makati, bago lang 'yon. Okay? Nag-offer din ng medtech 'yon, pero Mendiola ang nagbibigay ng refresher course. Okay? All right. Under Section 6 of RA 5527, the minimum required course to be a medical technologist is to have to take for a 4-year course, including 12 months of internship. Okay? Medyo mahaba, no? Bachelor's degree, ganun. And then, 'di ba? 4 years, 'di ba? Ang haba. BS Medtech, kukuha ka pa ng subjects mo sa Filipino, Rizal, no? Naalala ko nung estudyante ako, Diyos ko, irregular ako kasi galing ako ng nursing. My gosh, mga kaklase ko iba't ibang colleges, may opto, may pharmacy, merong ano pa. 'Di ba? Nag-take pa ako ng Rizal. Kasi walang Rizal ang nursing. Fourth year pa ang nursing ng Rizal. Ay, ang Rizal ng nursing. Anyways, let's move on to to BOMT. What do you mean by BOMT again? Anybody? Mel? Board of Medical Technologists. Lalim ng boses ni Mel, parang gusto niya maging member of the board in the future. Board of Medical Technology. Ang lalim parang ano eh. Okay, so the composition is as follows. Two medical technologists and two duly registered medical technologists and a pathologist. Okay? Okay? So the chairman is a pathologist and two members who are medical technologists. They all serve a 3-year term as appointed by the President of the Philippines. Okay? So, assignment for today is I want you guys to know. I'll give you automatic, parang bonus na nga to eh. Okay? Parang bonus na nga to eh. I want you guys to know who are the current board members of medical technology. Okay? In the Philippines. Wag baka mamaya board members ng council ng council ng Canadian Clinical Laboratory Scientists yan ha. Wag ganon. sir, sabi mo kasi board members lang eh. Walang ganon ha. Okay? baka merong mamiloso po kaya specific tayo kasi mahilig ako sa specifics. Okay? Who are the current board members of the Board of Medical Technologies? I think I'm going to have to skip this because this is already outdated. That is your assignment for your exams. Okay? That is something that I will ask you. Bonus na yan. Okay? Kumbaga, if I may be so bold to say so. Okay? So qualifications to be a board member. So of course you have to be registered and you have to be a member, Filipino citizen. You have to have good moral character, and you should not belong. You have to be you have to have practiced laboratory medicine or medical technology for at least 10 years prior to appointment, and you mustn't be a member of any faculty for at least 2 years. Okay, a member of faculty for at least 2 years. Say for example, si Sir Marco Nino. Okay. Si Sir Marco Nino nag-resign today. What year do you think magiging eligible si Sir Marco Nino ng pagiging Board of Medical Technologies? Pagiging board member ng medical technology rather. Sa tingin nyo? Come on, anybody? The criteria, the eligibility requirements are in front of you. Rafael, Luis. Kailan? Anong taon? Wrong. That was a trick question. That was a trick question. Nagpa-practice ba si Sir Marco as medtech? Hindi, di ba? Di ba? Dean pa rin nyo siya hanggang. So he belongs to the world of academia. Okay? So practice of 10 he may be registered for 10 years but he hasn't practiced medtech for 10 years. Okay? So clear tayo doon. That was a trick question, class. Ini-etos ko lang kayo, class. Okay? Say for example si Sir Marco is nagpa-part-time sa that's the time pwede. Okay? Nagpa-part-time siya as chief medtech for 10 years ng isang laboratory. That's the time. Siyempre ginawa kong chief, 'di ba? Kasi baka mamaya alam mo na, 'di ba? Hindi ma-send yung check ko. Di ba? Ginawa ko chief medtech para matakas yung alam nyo na, class. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So the executive officer of the board. Who's the current executive officer of the Board of Medical Technology? That is also your answer. But to answer your question to answer the question for that one, the executive officer of the board is basically the PRC commissioner. That one is also outdated. That is also one of your assignments for your exams. Okay? Now, let's go to the functions of BOMT, Board of Medical Technologists. Board exam. Ibig sabihin, board exam ang trabaho nila. Di ba? So, they administer the provisions of RA 5527, meaning if anybody performs any malpractice, okay, they have the right to investigate, okay, the violations, okay? So, administer the provisions. They administer the oath taking also. They issue, suspend, or revoke COR, which basically is the first bullet here. Okay, and investigate violations for malpractice. All right. Next, removal of board members. This is considered as some of the questions that you will case presentations for legal questions that you will see in your board exams. So, for example, removal of board members. A board member may be removed based on neglect, malpractice, immoral conduct, and can only be removed by the President of the Philippines. Sino nga ang President of the Philippines? Baka merong nakatira dito sa ilalim ng bato, katulad ni Patrick Starr. Baka mamaya makalimutan na naman na si Ferdinand Marcos Jr., okay? Huwag kakalimutan ng baka mamaya dyan, kung inietchos ko lang kayo, nilagay ko doon bongo. May sumagot ng bongo, ha? Wawarlahin ko kayo. Okay? So, si President lang ang pwedeng mag-remove ng members of the board. Okay? So, any of the three. Okay? So, you might get legal cases in front of you. That is not new in the board exam. Okay? That's not new in the boards. Okay? So you might get case presentation, open semicolon. Patrick Noel Dioso. Tiningnan ko talaga kung ano yung apelyido mo, friend. No? Patrick Noel Dioso has been a board member since 2024, and his tenure will end, and his tenure as the Board of Medical as part of the Board of Medical Technology will end in 2024. The October of that month. However, he was found to be selling marijuana and other illicit drugs to Andrea Nicole and Leila, who are also members of the board exam. Board of Medical Technologists. Which of the following can remove them from their positions? Which of the following members, rather, or whom? They might give you exact names, right? They might give you exact names. Okay? Or for example, si Renmar gumawa ng scandal. Okay? Tapos board member siya. Okay? So, hindi din pwede yon. Renmar, wag gagawa ng scandal. Okay? Alright. Next. Section 13. Accreditation of medtech schools and training laboratories. So, this is done by CHED and BRL. So, CHED accredits medical technology schools. So, the CHED is the one that monitors your school there. Okay, whether or not your professors are deemed fit to teach medical technology MLS education to you guys based on different parameters presented by the council. Okay? Or training labs naman. What do you mean by training labs? Dito kayo kumukuha ng internship. Okay? Or for example, graduate na si Mel. Okay? And he wants to do an advanced practice of transfusion medicine, for example. Or let's say he wants to undergo microbacteriology training in RITM. Okay, he wants to pursue those careers. Okay, and he wants to have certifications. Okay, BRL is the one that accredits whether or not RITM or the Lung Center of the Philippines will be allowed to still train postgraduate postgraduate medical technologists. Okay? So, sir, kasama ba yung internship namin? Yes, kasama yan. Tinitingnan niya ng Bureau of Research Laboratories. Anong tinitingnan nila, sir? Kaya ba nila kayong turuan? Madami ba yung staff? May mga reagents ba kayo na hindi pang primary lab? Baka naman kasi sabihin niyo, nagpatayo si Patrick doon sa kasi 'di ba natanggal siya as board member kasi nahuli siya nagbebenta ng illicit drugs kay Leila at saka kay Andrea, 'di ba? 'Di ba? Okay? So sabi niya magtatayo na lang ako ng nakahanap ako ng kalusot ng na related pa rin sa medtech. So nagtayo siya ng lab. Kaya akala niya pwedeng magturo. Akala niya pwede siya magturo ng mga interns. Hindi. Kailangan ka pa rin magpakita na kaya ng laboratory mo. Baka naman mamaya ang machine nyo lang is microscope lang tsaka centrifuge. O class, ito na. Ito na ang gagawin ng mga interns. Magse-centrifuge kayo for the whole day. Ganun lang. Hindi pwede. Kailangan per section. May mga yan. May mga checklists silang tinitingnan class. Okay? So hindi siya basta-basta na lang na Okay? So clear? Next, inhibition of the practice of medical technologies. There are several conditions that you need to remember under Section 14. Such conditions is that you have to be, registration is not required for physicians to be medtechs or to do medical technology tasks. That's why you need to pass your board exams as physicians to become eligible to undergo pathology residency, 'di ba? Kaya makakakita kayo pagka malalaking hospital diyan sa Pilipinas like I don't know, Jose Reyes. May makikita kayo doon mga nag-rotate na mga graduate ng medisina na. Okay? Patingin naman ako sa microscope, 'di ba? Ganon. Pwede sila mag-release ng results din. Okay? Foreign medtechs as visiting and exchange professional only. So they have to have like a sponsor first. Like for example, pupunta ang company ng Biomeru at ng Beckman sa Pilipinas. Of course, there will be a checklist of things that they can and can't do. Okay? And of course, you can practice medical technology if you are a U.S. Armed Forces member stationed in the Philippines. Okay? So yung mga nasa Subic, 'di ba? Mga naghahanap ng AFAM diyan, 'di ba? Pag may mga AFAM na sundalo, pwede silang mag-practice as long as they are medtechs under the U.S. Armed Forces. Okay? And they should be stationed here. Hindi yung, retired veteran ako. Pinadala ako sa SACEL dati. Nung ganon. Retired veteran siya. Hindi pwede kasi hindi siya stationed dito eh. 'Di ba? Hindi na siya dito tuloy. Lakas maka dito. No, kala mo nandiyan pa rin ako sa Pilipinas. Hindi na siya station sa Pilipinas, 'di ba? Sa Philippines, 'di ba? So dapat station siya sa Philippines. May purpose siya sa Pilipinas. Okay? Next, examination naman tayo. Examination requirements. So you have to have your TOR, birth certificate. If you're married, you have to have an NSO certified marriage certificate. You also have to have your cedula, which can be bought in the actual PRC complex. Okay, when you go there, they're in Moraita. Okay, and you have to have 4 passport-sized pictures with nameplates on them. I think I have mine here in my bag, if I'm not mistaken. Yun yung ginamit ko. Yun pa rin ang ginagamit kong picture. Hindi pa rin nagbago ang itsura. And of course, wala pa naman nababago sa batas. 900 pa rin ang bayad. Ang mahal, no? Ang mahal. 900. Diba? Isang linggong baon ko na yan nung nasa Pilipinas ako. Tinitipid-tipid ko pa yan kasi hindi na ako bibigyan ni mother. Okay? Alright, so let's move on to the next one. How many times a year is the medical technology board exam held in the Philippines? It's held 2 times a year. And do you know what months it is? Just for verification. Do you know what months it is? Kyla? Okay, August? Joyce? May at November. Hoy, nabago na ba? Krista. Krista Marie. Very good. March and September pa. Kanina yun yung pinropose ni Angara yun. Chill lang kayo. September. September yung ano yun. Unless na bago ha. Okay? So 2 times a year. Unless na bago dahil sa COVID. Okay? But officially it's March and September board exams. Okay? Kaya nga pag-graduate ninyo, 'di ba? Kailan kayo graduate officially kung if everything runs smoothly, walang bagsak and everything, walang suki card na binigay. Si Sir Marco. Kailan kayo graduate? Mel. July. Bago na, hindi na March ang graduation ngayon. Okay. So, July, July, August, September. 2 buwan ka lang. 2 buwan ka lang pala may magre-review. Kaya dapat nakikinig ka na sa akin ngayon pa lang. Ano? Binago nila because of COVID and the changes in the schedule of the school year. Okay. So see, kaya ako nagtanong. Pero officially sa ating batas, okay? Officially sa batas natin ha. Sa batas natin, hindi ako ang nagano nito. March and September, okay? So baka binago dahil nga kaya ako nagtatanong, okay? So it's only held twice a year, okay? So nung time namin, dahil galing ako ng nursing, Octoberian ako. Nagantay ako hanggang March. Mga October, November, December, January, February, March. So 6 months ang review ko. 5 months, kumbaga, 5 months. Okay? Do you think that's enough? Do you think that is constitutional? I think so. 5 months lang. Diyos ko, kaya-kaya nyo nga yan. Di ba nga, kaya nga nating mag-lecture ng isang subject sa isang araw. Di ba? 2 subject sa isang araw. Kaya-kaya nyo yan. Okay? Okay, so how many days before examination should a candidate for examination submit all his requirements to the PRC, or the professional? 20 days before the exam. And usually, if you are enrolled in a board exam review center, in my case, it was AXA Review Center, sila ang nagpupush namin, huy, ipasa nyo na yung mga requirements ninyo ngayon kung gusto nyo mag-take ng board exam. May timeline sila. Kaya mas gusto ko I opted for for board review enrollment before I went into sit on my exams, because mabilis ako yung ayoko bukas na lang. Mga ganun ako. 'Di ba? So for example, March 15 ang exam ko. Dapat Pebrero pala, last week ng February na ipasa ko na yung requirements ko kasi 20 days before the exam eh. Okay? Clear? Clear tayo? Okay? So, may underline yan. Alam nyo na kung bakit. Okay? May underline yan kung alam nyo na kung bakit. Okay. Next thing. Under Section 16 of RA 5527, what are the qualifications of an individual who wants to partake in the board examinations? So you have to have good moral character. You have to be a graduate of BS Medical Technology, MLS. In some schools they give BS MLS na, BS Medical Laboratory Science, or Public Health. Okay, graduates of other professions are also welcome to apply. Okay, chemistry. Okay, and they can take the board exam if they perform medical technology for 5 years prior to RA 5527. So right now, wala nang ganon. Super ugod-ugod na yon yung mabibigyan ng chance mag-take ng board exam. So for example, graduate siya ng BS Biology. Okay? Eh wala namang medtech nung panahon nung pinanganak siya ng 1922. Okay? Graduate siya. Class of 1955 siya. UP Diliman, BS Medtech. BS Veterinary Science. Nakakita siya ng opening. Dahil hikahos ang buhay. Pwede pa rin ba yun, sir? Class of 1959 siya. Na-hire siya sa Tondo General Hospital as a phlebotomist muna. Ang trabaho siya and she made her way up to performing he or she made her way up the the career ladder, na promote siya, 'di ba? As technician, 'di ba? As laboratory technician. I mean, so ganun yun yung mga pwedeng mag or laboratory assistant rather. Pwede yun yung mga kaso na yun. So 1955 class of 1955 siya gumraduate, 'di ba? Oh. After ng 1955, tuloy-tuloy na veterinary science, hindi niya tinapos. Hindi niya tinuloy into veterinary medicine. 'Di ba? Wala namang naghahanap ng trabaho ng veterinary medicine. 'di ba? Ganon na mga kaso na pwedeng ibigay sa inyo sa board exam. Okay? So you have to read, okay? You have to read the exams, okay? You have to read in the exams. Okay? Next. Under Section 17 of RA 5527, what subject matter is tested in the Philippine Medical Technology Board exam? Please include the percentages. 20% ang lahat except for clinical microscopy, histopathology, and cytopathologic techniques. Lahat ng tinitake yung subject, 20% yun. Clinical chemistry is 20, hematology is 20, microbiology, parasitology is 20, immunology, serology, and blood banking, clinical microscopy, histotechniques, and medical technology laws and ethics. Emphasis on medical technology laws and ethics because you might be asked questions about ethics. Okay? You might be asked questions about ethics. Emphasis on ethics. Okay? Sometimes may mga good moral conduct na mga questions na lumalabas dyan. Okay? We never really know. Most review centers will answer the same thing, I suppose. They never really know what they're going to be asked in test number 6, which is this one. So you have test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, which is histotechniques, medical laboratory technology laws, and ethics. They never really know what to ask ever since the beginning of time. Kasi pwedeng mabago ang isip ng mga board examiners. Pwede nilang paltan-paltan. Okay? Report of rating. Okay, so you can get a report of rating. How do we get report of rating? So report of rating in the olden times is 120 days after you take your board exam. The Board of Medical Technology will have 120 days to check all papers taken by all medical technologists who took the board exam under the PRC, and the PRC will announce it 120 days. Okay? There was an amendment in 1891 that the results are reported within 10 days. Kaya nga yung 10 days na yun, medyo nangangatog ako, lagi ako natutulog. Okay? Kasi business days pati yan, class, ha. Huwag kayong magbibilang ng So if the board exam falls on a Friday, expect that you will get it within the second Friday after the board exam. So medyo matagal-tagal kang mag-aantay. If it was on a Monday ng susunod na linggo. So mas matagal 'yon. Okay? So hopefully sa kayo, sa in the middle of the week kayo. Okay? So rating of the board exams naman tayo. What conditions render a passing grade in the Philippine Medical Technology Board exam? It is 75% and above. Okay? A person who got an average of 75% and above with no grade below 50 in any major subject. When we say any major subject, anything that has 20%. Okay? So if for example everything here you got 60 and you got 90 in all of this, but in clinical chemistry hindi ka masyadong magaling, you only got 10. If you computed your grades, you only got 35. If you computed your grades, you won't get 50%. You will still get a passing grade, 'di ba? 95 ka lahat dito. Compute nyo, class. 95 ka lahat dito. Tapos sa may clinical chemistry ka pumalya. 35 lang ang nakuha mo. 'Di ba? Hindi siya papasok ng 75%. Gawin na natin 25 kasi baka ma-miscalculate ko. Okay? So, passing ka, theoretically passing ka. Okay? Theoretically passing ka kasi you got an average of at least 50%. But because you got a grade below 50% in clinical chemistry, Okay? You will not pass the board exam. Okay? So think before you say na, ay, pasado ako. 75. Sa tingin ko, magaling ako on all subjects. Kayang-kaya ko yung clinical chemistry na yan. Ganon. 'Di ba? Wag ganon. Dapat lahat may balance. Ika nga kay ano, only the avatar can master all four. Charet! Mali pala yung ano ko. Maling palabas. Sorry. Maling palabas. Sorry class, sorry. Dapat may balance sa lahat ng ano. Diyos ko, the Fire Nation attack. Charing lang. Maling show yung ano ko. Kinote ko, class. Sorry. So, and of course, not failed in 60% of the subjects computed in their relative weight. So, for example, 100 ka dun sa dalawang exam. Okay? 100 ka dun sa dalawang exam, tapos bagsak kulelat ka naman dun sa lahat. Okay? Kulelat ka na dun sa iba, hindi ka pa din papasa. So, kailangan, gawin mo na lang, only the avatar can master all four elements, class. Okay? But when the world needed him most, he vanished kasi bumagsak ng board exam. Okay? Ganon, okay? Anyways, nag-retake naman ang avatar. Ayoko na kung ano-anong kalukuhan na iisip ko. Anong oras na kasi dito? 11:40 na. Anyways, let's continue. Section 19 na tayo of RA 5527. What will happen to a person who fails to pass the board exam thrice? You'll have to apply for a 12-month refresher course in any medical technology schools, or you will have to apply in an accredited medical technology schools, or 12-month postgraduate training in an accredited laboratory. Ano yung postgraduate training, sir? Sir, parang mag-aano ako. Mag-i-intern ka, kumbaga. Okay? So, mag-i-intern ka. Yun ang gagawin mo. Ako, gusto ko pumasok na lang ng school. Kasi ang culture natin sa Pilipinas, kinakawawa yung intern. Wala din akong matututunan. Taga-balot lang ako ng tackle box ni ma'am para before siyang kumuha ng ano. So wala akong matututunan. A-attend na lang ako sa medtech schools. May baon pa ako. Anyways, let's continue with section 20, which is oath taking. Who administers the oath taking is, of course, the Board of Medical Technology or any person authorized by the board. Should there be any type of absences with any of them? Okay. Issuance of COR. What is COR? Certificate of Registration as a medical technologist. Who are the important signatories? Sir, tinatanong din yan. Kaya ko nga nilagay dyan kasi tinatanong siya. So it's signed by 4 people. Okay? You have to see the names of the current board of medical technologists at the time of you passing, okay, the board exams, and the PRC chairperson at the time of when you pass the board exams. Okay? So mamaya niyan si Aini Mainini ang board exam nung time ko nung 2011. Hindi ko alam kung sino yung si Aini Mainini, hindi yung totoong tao ha. Tapos magugulat ka, si Aini Mainini is 69 years old na nung time na pumasa ako. Panahon ninyo, that was 20, sa panahon niyo nakalagay pa rin si Aini Mainini. Obviously, peke yung okay? May mga makikita din kayong mga cases. Malay nyo, okay? Alright? Tandaan nyo yung mga yan. Kasi baka makakita kayo ng cases. Wink, wink. Baka may makakita kayo ng case na ganyan. Nung panahon ko, 2011 ako nag-take ng board exam. Nandun si Aini Mainini. Gumraduate si Mel ng 2027. But nung panahon na yon na nag-take ako ng board exam noong 2011, sa tingin nyo si Aini Mainini nandun pa rin? Di ba tatlong taon lang ang termino ng isang baka nasa ICU na si Aini Mainini. Tumigil kayo. Peke yung kay Mel, okay? Akin yung legit. Charing. Alright. Okay, so baka mamaya may lumabas na case na ganon, di ba? So tandaan nyo, class, ha? Wink, wink. Okay? Upon receiving his or her COR, what should be done to this certificate if one should practice the profession? I think even Sir Marco and your other professors post their CORs in their respective offices. So they display it on his or her place of work. Okay? So required yan. Yan ang unang-unang tinitingnan ni PhilHealth at saka ng BRL. Okay? Isa yan sa mga checklist nila. Totoo ba na mga gumraduate tong mga to? Diba ganon? But again, ito-double check nila. Titingnan nila, nandito ba talaga si Aini Mainin noong 2020? Sobrang ano na yarn. Okay? Tandaan nyo lang yung ano ko na yan. Okay? Age requirement to be issued a PRC license. So the age requirement to be issued a PRC license is 21 years old. Okay? 21 years old. I graduated, I think, when I was 19 years old, and I took the board exam when I was 20. I passed the board exam. I wasn't able to get my board license to practice medtech until 2012 on my 21st birthday. Bakit, sir? Kasi hindi pa ako 21 years old. Paano ka nagtrabaho, sir? Char lang. Yung COR lang. Chill lang kayo. Yung sinasabi ko yung license, yung card. Okay? Yung COR pwede kang bigyan. Okay? Pero yung card hindi pa. Okay? Graduate of medtech. Graduate of medtech with ano to? Okay? MLTs or MT or MLTs issued a COR without examination at what conditions under section 22 of I-527? I think that was the question. So under RI 527, you are issued a COR without examination with the following conditions. If you're an MT graduate or you're a BS Medtech graduate with practice of 3 years prior to 16/21/1969. So, ibig sabihin, 3 taon ka na nagtatrabaho, graduate ka ng medtech. Nung panahon na yon, syempre matagal-tagal pa na i-propose yung BSMT, di ba? Okay? Graduate of any other profession naman, 3 years before 1969. 8 years pala, sorry. Any other profession, you won't have to sit the board exams. So, safest bet mo, -3, 1966. Before 1966 ka pa nagpa-practice. Okay? Pasok ka. Meron ka ng COR. Bigyan ng COR. 1960. Ka pa nagpa-practice. Pasok ka. Bigyan niya ng jacket at COR. Ako, kung si Kuya Will yung BOMT nun. Okay? Anyways, continue na tayo. Puro ko kalokohan. MLT naman, class. Medical Laboratory Technician, okay, should pass the civil service exam for MLT given on 1964. Okay, there was an MLT examination 1964. The requirement for that one was 2 years of the requirement before was the MLT civil service exam was a 2 years in college. You didn't have to graduate college. But you have to have at least 1 year of service as a medtech noon. Okay? Bakit hindi na to sinusunod ngayon, sir? Kasi madaming nang pepeke ng mga papeles nila. Okay? Say for example, mamimili tayo? Si Moyo. Si Moyo, kunwari. Di ba? Si Moyo. Lola niya yung may-ari ng laboratory. Siyempre, pwede niya sabihin, ay matagal na yung kahit ang ginagawa lang ni Moyo doon, nagkukuha ng bayad ng pera. Wala namang ginagawa dun sa laboratory talaga. Siya lang yung kahero dun sa 'di ba? So, kaya hindi na yan ginagawa ngayon kasi madaming nandaraya. Kasi 2 years lang ka-graduate tapos sabihin, okay, pwede na ako Kaya hindi siya ginagawa. Pero ngayon, sa panahon ngayon, pwede ka mag-take ng board exam, same requirements, pero hindi ka pasok dun sa 75% average. Nakakuha ka lang ng 70 to 74.9. Pasok ka pa rin. Pwede ka mabigyan. Okay? Okay? Tandaan nyo itong mga kondisyones na to, ha. For every year in college, 2 years of service may be substituted. Okay? Tandaan mo yung mga kondisyones na yan. 10 years of service regardless of education. So for example, graduate ako as an attorney. Diba? Graduate ako as an attorney. Pero, feeling ko tumatapak ako ng pamumuhay ng maraming tao. Okay? I left the practice when the world needed him most. He disappeared. Ayan na naman tayo. Maling show talaga yung inaano ko. Maling show talaga ako. Diyos ko. Maling show talaga, no? Pero hindi. For example lang talaga. Okay? Graduate ng ng law. Okay? Then the person didn't practice, pursue the career in medtech. Okay? Lab assistant and everything, 10 years of service, pwede kang bigyan ng MLT prior to 6/21/1969. Okay? Again, mga matatanda na to. Okay? Siguro mga lagpas hindi na 40. Ano na to, mga 70 years old na tong mga tao na to ngayon. Okay? Ay hindi, lagpas na siguro. Okay? Alright. So, according to the law, how many medical laboratory technicians can be supervised by a registered medical technologist? There are for every 1 RMT, there should be 2 MLTs to be handled. Okay? 1:2 ang ratio. Okay? Can there be a refusal to issue a COR? Yes. You could be issued under Section 22. You could be, it's probably, the main reason is you don't have good moral character because you've been convicted by the court. Diba? Isa kang convict. Okay? Sir, walang karapatan ng mga oo, ganon. Wala ka ng karapatan mag-practice ng medtech. Kung for example, na-convict ka, okay? Nakulong ka, tapos na-tried ka, you are found guilty, pinadala ka sa lungga ni Dilima, okay? For several years. And then suddenly sabi, ay, hindi siya guilty. Wala naman ng time para sinabi lang hindi ka guilty. Pero may record ka na na-convicted ka. Ganon. Okay? Unsound mind. May schizophrenia ka. Okay? Or what else? May bipolar disorder ka and you refuse to take your medications. Okay? You have an incurable communicable disease. Okay? This is something that is close to my heart. Okay? This is something that is close to my heart. There are a lot of healthcare professions in the past who won't accept people who are HIV positive, and of course being an advocate for HIV myself, 'di ba? Kasi nga, hindi ako positive, charot kayo ha. Advocate lang ako. Okay? Nakakasad kasi nga hindi naman alam naman natin kung paano nakahawa, 'di ba? Pero nung panahon na 'yan hindi nila alam. Okay? Nung panahon na 'yan hindi nila alam. 'Di ba nga mga panahon na 'yan nagma-mouth pipette pa sila. Okay? So, nung panahon na 'yan, hindi ka pwede nung mga panahon na 'yan. Pero ngayon, syempre alam na nila na okay, may hepatitis ka, hindi ka naman makakahawa kung hindi ka naman nag-share ng needles with me. Pwede pa rin. Okay? Makakahanap ka pa rin ng work. Okay? Pero, what kind of communicable diseases ba, sir? For example, meron kang tuberculosis. Okay? Fulminant tuberculosis. Of course, hindi ka mabibigyan kasi makakahawa ka ng mga tao. 'Di ba? Tama ba 'yun? Papasok ka sa ospital, a place of healing. May dala-dala kang spore, may dala-dala kang particles ng infectious particles ng Hindi pwede. Or for example, meron kang Ebola. Okay? Ikaw lang ang immune sa Ebola. Okay? For example, you are that rare one in a million case na nagkaroon ng immunity sa Ebola, and I don't know if there was one case of that one. But for example, you were that one in a million, okay, na immune sa Ebola. Of course, hindi ka mabibigyan kasi bakit? Pupunta ka sa ospital or sa laboratory. Di ba? Okay, you are highly communicable. Okay, these are again theoretical conditions, okay? And again, this is a little bit sad kasi hindi pa rin nababago yung mga yan. Okay? And they never really defined what diseases were considered communicable back then. Okay? Yun yung mga loopholes kumbaga sa batas. Okay? And your employer can actually attest na may hepatitis yan si Manuel. Hepatitis B, A, B, C, D. Kinuha niya lahat. 'di ba? Yung isa lang naman doon ang self-limiting. Kinuha niya lahat, A, B, C, D. Okay? Hindi yan pwede, baka mag-cause siya ng false positive sa mga result. Your employer can still use that against you, which is actually sad. Sad truth. Okay? Anyways, hindi siya hindi pa siya na-amend. Dapat ngayon yung mga inamend nila eh. Okay? Anyways, Section 24, RA 5527, who are responsible for investigating professional misconduct. The members of the board, of course, one pathologist, two medtechs, and an additional one to be could either be one pathologist, two medtechs, but there should always be one legal officer. Okay? Should always be one legal officer. So any of the two members of the board, it could be the two medtechs or one medtech plus the pathologist, any of the two. As long as they make a tribunal. Bakit sinabing tribunal, sir? Kasi tatlo sila. Ibig sabihin, there's only two outcomes. Okay, there's only two outcomes. Either revoke or suspend. Kasi one person kasi bakit may legal officer, sir? Kasi po pwedeng biased yung board members. For example, bakit ko ini-explain to sa inyo class? For example, si Mel. Okay? May nagsabi na may scandal siya. Okay? Yung isang board member ay isang pathologist na si Sheila. Si Andrea is yung si Andrea is yung isa pang board member, medtech siya. Okay? Sabi nila nakita nila na si Mel yon. Pero kamukha lang pala ni Mel. Okay? Pero since bias sila against Mel, galit sila kay Mel, lalagay nila, revoke na yung license ni Mel, dalawa sila. Pero si legal officer, since hindi naman siya member ng Board of Medtech, hindi niya alam ang chika. 'Di ba? Hindi niya alam ang chika. So nag-imbestiga siya. Sabi niya, ay, hindi si Renmar to. Hindi to si Mel. Doon sa scandal, hindi to si Mel. Si Renmar to. Charotera yung dalawang babae. Suspend lang. Okay? O 'di ba? So may tribunal na mangyayari. Dalawa lang kasi ang pwedeng maging outcome. It's either lahat sila bumoto. It's either lahat silang bumoto or against you, or may isa na papalag or may dalawang papalag. Ganun lang siya. Kaya tribunal. Okay? Yung outcome is whether it's suspend or whether it's to suspend or to revoke your license. Okay? Clear na? Clear ba, Mel? Ganon. So, di ba, nakalusot ka, no? Hindi ikaw yung may scandal talaga. Di ba? Okay, so what is the difference between revocation and suspension? Who here can discuss what is the difference between the two? Anybody? What's the difference between revocation and suspension? Ariane Dorothy Kiambao. That's in terms of the votes by the investigating committee, right? Which is the BOMT plus one legal officer. Now, in terms of what will happen to your license, what's the difference between the two? Marianne. Bago to Marianne. Who's Marianne? Marianne. Hello. Okay. Yes, in the wise words of Taylor Swift nga, we're never, ever, ever getting back together. Ganon, okay? Ganon yung difference. Never getting back together ng license mo, okay? Hindi yung jowa. Charot kayo, kung ano kayo. Kung ano puro mga lit ang mga pinag-uusapan ninyo, class, ha? Okay, unanimous, it's a permanent removal of your license from the permanent removal of your license and your name in the roster. And suspension is majority vote. Unanimous vote is everybody voted. Majority vote is just everybody just voted against you. Majority of them, and it shall not exceed 2 years. Okay? So, hindi ka wala pwedeng mag-practice. Okay? Kasi wala kang license. Okay? Clear? Now, let's move on to foreign reciprocity. What are the conditions of foreign reciprocity in the Philippines to practice the medical technology profession? So, no foreigner is allowed to practice medical technology unless reciprocity has been established. In subjected state, country should allow Filipino medtechs to practice the profession. Okay? So, class, bakit pwede naman pala tayo mag-practice sa US class, di ba? Meron akong question sa inyo. Pwede tayo mag-practice pala sa US. Bakit ganun? Sige nga. Bakit hirap pa rin makapunta? Di ba? May foreign reciprocity tayo, di ba? According to the law, as long as you're a member of the US Philippine Forces, US Armed Forces, you can practice medtech. Di ba? That means we can practice. There is reciprocity. Right? Sige. Sinong makakasagot nun? Patrick, nagtaas ka ba ng kamay? Bakit, Patrick? Sige nga. Ano daw? Napindot mo lang? Okay. Bakit ganon? Kung ganon pala pwede naman pala magpunta si Arian at saka si Mel dito. Pwede pala sila mag-practice. Meron tayong reciprocity sa US, di ba? Sino makakasagot? Unahan ko na kayo. Sagutin ko na yung question. Class, siret na kayo kung bakit hindi kayo pwedeng makapag-practice dito. Kasi, first of all, you need to find an employer. Okay? First of all, you need to find an employer. Sino sa tingin ninyo ang hahanap ng Sino sa tingin niyo ang hahanap ng employee sa Pilipinas? Kung meron namang mga medtech na gumagraduate at mga MLS schools dito, 'di ba? Secondly, may batas ang immigration na kailangan mo pa rin magkaroon ng visa. Okay? So there is reciprocity. Yes, there is. When you apply for a license in Florida and in New York City, in California, you won't need to, and in New York also, you don't have to sit the exams. Okay? You just need to have a converted grade of A, B's, and C's by WES, okay, to be able to be eligible to have a license endorsement. However, you need an employer and you need to have a visa to work lawfully here in the US. So, licensure ang pinag-uusapan. Okay? Licensure-wise, we have reciprocity with them, with these countries. Okay? But, you have to undergo a long list of things to get a visa. Okay? Kaya nahihirapan ng mga tao. So, clear? Clear tayo? Na kayo sa immigration lawyer ninyo? Charing. Okay? So, ganon. So, ganon, class. Okay? So, yun yung conundrum ko nung 2011 nung gumraduate ako. Kasi gusto ko nang umalis ng Pilipinas. Nakita ko yung sahod. 5,000 pesos. Tama ba yun? Tama ba yun? Tama ba yun? Hindi ko nasasabihin ko sa ospital. Pero, 'di ba? Syempre ako nung mga panahon na bata pa ako. Taray bata pa, no? Nung mga panahon na bata pa ako, sabi ko, ka-age nyo ako. Ayoko na sa Pilipinas ang baba ng sahod. Tapos nagpunta ako ng ibang bansa. Ay, may bahay pa ako na libre. Wala akong binabayaran na bills. Tapos wala pang tax. Di ba? Di ba ganon? Pero bakit hindi ako pwedeng mag-practice? Kaya ako siya inaral na kailangan mo pa rin pala ng visa. Okay? So, yan. Okay? So, let's move on to the next one. Roster naman tayo. Who prepares the roster? The roster is prepared, of course, by the secretary of the board. Secretary, hindi yung board. Well, technically, it is the board pa rin who will decide on who gets to be listed on the board exam by looking at the people who passed the board exams. Okay? But it is actually their secretary who makes it official on the list. Okay? What personal details are contained within the roster of the medical technologists? So there are several personal details. Of course, your name is included them in one of them. Okay? The date of registration, the address, kung saan ka kumuha ng nung time na kumuha ka ng board exam for the first time. Other important information. Okay? Other important information, nilalagay nila doon kung registered ano ka. For example, nurse ka tapos nag-medtech ka. So, nalagay nila RN ka pa. Okay? So, mga ganon na mga information. Okay? So, penal provisions naman tayo. Other important information pala is, for example, kung nategi ka na. Okay? Ilalagay ka nila na nategi ka na. Bakit kailangan sabihin na nategi ka na? Para hindi mapeke. Okay? So, hindi yun para mag-condolences lang. Okay? Para hindi mapeke. So, for example, 2050 nategi na ako noon, obviously, because of my unhealthy lifestyle and lack of longevity or lack of progress in the field of longevity medicine. 2050. May gumamit ng pangalan ko, Manuel De Leon. Okay? Gamitin ko yung yung employee number ko sa Saudi. 11753 ang 11753 ang name ko, ang record ko as the board of as a registered medical technologist. Pero nategi na ako ng 2050. Biglang may gumamit ng number ko. Okay? So kailangan ina-announce nila na nategi ka na. Kasi for the purpose na hindi ma-fake yung license mo. Okay? And section 29 is penal provisions. Ngumingisi na naman yung mata ni Patrick. Puro kakalokohan, Patrick. Penal provisions, ibig sabihin to be penalized, ha? Walang kabastusan yan. How can a person be penalized? Okay? So if you practice medical technology without a COR, if you practice medical technology without the supervision of a pathologist, you practice medical technology using other people's COR, practice of medical technologies using a suspended or revoked COR, fraudulent lab reports, failure to display a COR, those are considered as violations to the practice of medical technology. Fraudulent lab reports. Ano bang example ng fraudulent lab report? So let's say for example, I'm gonna go with, sino ba sa tingin ko dito ang mukhang kriminal? Let's go with Patrick ulit. Diba? Si Patrick talaga yung kasi ngisi yan puro mga kalokohan eh. Say for example, Patrick has been duly registered as a medical technologist. He also attended a seminar or postgraduate training for drug testing. Okay? So, maraming kaibigan maraming dabarkad si Patrick na police. Okay? And one of the requirements to become a police officer in the Philippines or to be a member of the PNP is to undergo mandatory drug screening. Since friendship sila, yung isang friend ni Patrick is nagchochonke. Okay? One of the parameters being tested in the drug testing kits as mandated by PDEA is tetrahydrocannabinol. All of his friends tested positive, including Patrick. Not Dioso, okay? Not Patrick Dioso. Patrick Manuel de Macaron. Okay? De Macaron. Okay? Baka akala mo ikaw, ha? Ginamit ko lang yung first name mo. Patrick Manuel de Macaron. And his friends had a pot session 2 days prior to their PDEA meeting. Sabi niyo, patay, kawawa itong mga friends ko, hindi sila makakahanap ng work. Negative. Lalagay na lang niya as negative. Di ba? So that is considered as a fraudulent lab report. What you reported was was untrue. Okay? Kaya nga sa ibang bansa, ang ginagawa nila, bantay sarado, from the time na umihi ka to the time na ipapasa mo ang sample hanggang sa itetest yung sample mo. Merong camera lagi sa taas. Pati ang medtech binabantayan. Okay? Nung din drug test ako, nandun ako sa harap, dinidip yung wiwi ko. Tapos ilalagay sa isang bag na merong nakalagay na ano tawag doon? Yung every person na chain of custody. Okay? So dadaan sa chain of custody. Kung sino yung susunod na humawak, dapat mag-i-initial sa doon. Otherwise, if there's a break in the chain of custody, you have to repeat the test because this could have been This could have been tampered with. Alright? Okay, clear? Clear tayo doon. Fraudulent lab reports. Ano pang example ng fraudulent lab report? For example, si Sheila, ayoko si Sheila, baka sabihin ni Sheila, masyado akong FC. Ngayon lang kami nagkakilala ni Sheila, FC na ako, di ba? Let's go with Renmar. Nag-positive siya sa pregnancy test. Pwede bang mangyari yon? Di ba hindi? Fraudulent yon. Ganon, okay? Mga ganon yon. Alright, so alright, let's go next to the next section under section 29. How much is the fine for someone who violates the provisions of RA 5527? Mababa lang, class, huwag kayong mag-alala. Okay? Wala pang nababago dyan. 2,000 to 5,000 lang naman, or an imprisonment sentence of 6 months to 2 years. Diba, saglit lang, class. Maliit na bagay. Gagawin na nila. Mag-ano na sila ng mga fraudulent lab reports. So, huwag kayong gumawa. Medtech laws ang tinuturo ko. Hindi medtech crimes, ha? Huwag kayong ganyan, ha? Okay? Alright, let's go to the separability clause naman. Separability clause talks about any provisions of 5527. If any provision of RA 5527 is declared invalid, or meaning it's outdated na, okay, the rest will not be affected. So, for example, all sections or all 31 sections other than section 30 are independent of each other. So, for example, pinaltan yung curriculum ng medtech. Okay, pinaltan yung curriculum ng medtech, which can be done only by the Council of Medical Technology. There was an amendment for that one. Hindi affected yung board exam, yung contents ng board exam, kasi iba naman yung curriculum at saka yung board exam. Gets nyo? Okay? Clear? Repealing clause is another thing. Amendments in all rules and regulations of all executive order that are inconsistent to it, except the Philippine Medical Technology, okay, Clinical Laboratory Act, and RA 1517, which is the blood banking law. Okay? So I want you guys to remember all of this. We may not be able to discuss this all, okay? But well, I'll try my best to at least give you one of the important things to be discussed in this particular laws. Okay. Effectivity. That is the last one. Effectivity is, of course, alam nyo na, 6/21/1969, President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Okay. Please make sure it is with the word senior, with the suffix senior, kasi baka mamali kayo. Okay? Clear? Clear ba, class? Okay? We can go on break for like 20 minutes because I need to have a child. I need to go on break. Girl, I need to go on break. Hindi pa ako nagla-lunch and dinner. Okay? So, class, I'll see you in a bit for like 15 minutes. Let's go with how many hours do I still have, class? This is up to until 5 o'clock again, right? 2 hours. 2 hours. So I still have 2 hours 38 minutes. So let's go with 38 minutes. Sakto tayo magtuturo ng after ano. Let's go with 37 minutes. Okay? Kain lang muna ako because child, I am hungry. I'll see you again for the upcoming topics of Clinical Laboratory Act 1966 and blood banking law, and we'll try to include what else are we want to try to include? Newborn Screening Act, okay, those kinds of things. All right. So, let me start my timer again. Where's my timer? Oh, let me end the stream first.